more overall presentation of the scope of this period. And if I can give you insight into these things and help you expand your appreciation for these people, I think that's all to the good. You don't have to accept my orientation that these people didn't agree with each other. That's your business if you think they agreed with each other or not, but we certainly shouldn't flesh out who these people are. I mean, who is James the son of Alphaeus? I'd like to know. And I think I can answer that question for you, so therefore I think I'm helping you. And then I can tell you who James the son of Cleophas is too. So I mean, I think that's a plus. And then we, at that point, know who Judas of James is, the same person who the letter of Jude is described to. And so then we have two brothers of Jesus here. And then Simon Zelotes, I would think, would be the third brother of Jesus, James, Simon, Jude, and Joses. So we've got three brothers of Jesus here. Why doesn't Acts want to tell us that? Oh, because Acts is not happy about the brothers of Jesus being prominent in any way, because their doctrine doesn't agree with the darling of Acts, who is Paul. Now, interestingly enough, that one of the brothers of Jesus, if this is the second brother of Jesus, and I think it is, but can't prove that, is called a zealot, which in my mind makes sense. This movement is not really terribly different than the Galilean movement, which is another name for the zealot movement. Even Judas Iscariot, I think, is linked to that, but it's too complicated for this stage of the presentation. It's all in the book of James if you want to go, that you have from me, if you want to go deeper into all these things. Anyway, so the brothers or the apostles are mentioned, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brothers are mentioned, line 14, without enumeration. But again, Luke admits there are brothers, as do the other Gospels. So when we hear that these are not brothers, that these are cousins, that these are half-brothers, that these are milk brothers, that these are, you know, a set of brothers by another mother, and so on, I don't think the Gospels, or even Acts, ever show any indication that they consider these not to be, quote, brothers. Where does the brother problem come from? The brother problem comes as the doctrine of the supernatural Christ gains momentum. And when did the doctrine of the supernatural Christ gain momentum? Well, I think towards the end of the first, beginning of the second century. And that's why I have in the back of your collection there the Proto-Evangelium of James, because that's considered to be the document where James says Jesus is not my brother. In other words, written in the name of James to that's why since everyone knew James is the closest living relative of Jesus, to deny that he was actually his brother. And that's where we get the supernatural Christ. You see, even for instance, at one point I think these prophecies that we have here, men, brothers, line 15, it's necessary scripture should be fulfilled as spoken by David's mouth, and so on. Let's see if I can find, I can't find the one I'm looking for, but we have lots of discussions here where it's that Jesus is called a son of David in certain lectures, whether it's, I can't put my finger on it at the moment, but I think it's in the Gospel of Luke and so on, that the narrator is talking about Jesus, and we all know that Jesus is a son of David. Well, that really is totally at odds with being a son of God. You know, either he's a son of David or he's a son of God. He can't be both. You know, and so, you know, the ideologies conflict. To my mind, the Son of God ideology comes later as this goes overseas into a Hellenistic world where Greco-Roman religious enthusiasts believed that God had real children. In Palestine, that was never the doctrine. The Palestinian never thought of, they spoke about Son of God. There is a Son of God text in the Dead Sea Scrolls that say he shall be called Son of God. I've just been working on it. He should be called Son of the Most High. But the idea is that as you approach perfect righteousness, you become like a son of God. In other words, it's known as adoption as sonship. That's why I've given you the Hebrew and Ebionite Gospels in that collection, which are basically made up of quotations from Jerome, who saw those Gospels, where the voice cries to Jesus as per one of the Psalms. I can't remember which Psalm it is. I think it's 89, but in any case, the voice cries out from heaven, this is, I forget how it's put, this is my son, or something like that. At this moment have I begotten him. In other words, at the moment Jesus comes out of the baptismal and becomes perfect in terms of both purity and righteousness, he becomes a son of God. God doesn't beget you like in the Greek way, like Zeus comes down and has copulation with human mothers and different things like that. God adopts you as you become perfectly righteous. All the righteous ones, says the Book of Wisdom, are the sons of God. And that's the Dead Sea Scroll view too. So as you are perfect, and in the Sermon on the Mount, you have this as well. Unless your righteousness exceeds the scribes and the Pharisees, you shall in no wise enter the kingdom of heaven, Jesus quoted as saying, or at the end of that section, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. So as you attain perfection, which is a doctrine in the Dead Sea Scrolls, perfection of the way it's called. You can find, I can't put these things on the board because I don't have a pencil. You can find it in the Community Rule, you can find it in the Damascus document, two of the most important Dead Sea Scrolls. You can just thumb through them and find how many times they speak about perfection and perfection of the way. So the ideology in Palestine is, yes, you are a son of God insofar as you're perfectly righteous. Just like he gives the Ebionite doctrine here in Eusebius. That is, Jesus was only a man advanced beyond other men in terms of righteousness. We're not trying to undermine Christology here. We're just trying to separate out Palestinian ideology relating not to the Christ but to the Messiah. And I think Paul brings in the Christ ideology. And the Christ ideology is a Greco-Roman ideology presented in Greek terms to a Greco-Roman audience where God actually has sons, at which point the son of David thing becomes unimportant. And don't start the Mary genealogy to me. That is just not even in the ballpark.
Question regarding the term for brothers in Hebrew. Is there a term for cousin and a term for brother? Or is it